This video is to show you how to access the RtI and the Universal Screener resources. So the first thing you'll need to do is go to the CISD Elementary Math webpage, which is tinyurl.com/CISD Elementary Math. And if you look down here underneath RtI and Universal Screeners, there's a link. So if you'll click on the RtI for kindergarten through 5th grade, this will take you to an RtI overview, and our screener is part of the RtI process. So if you click here on this Response to Intervention Process link, it'll take you to this page. So this is just an overview of what the process of RtI looks like for our district. So if we go back to the overview, the first part here is the Universal Screener. And over here on the side, it has a section where you can click on your appropriate grade level and go to a page that will link all to your grade level's documents. Before you do the Universal Screener, it's very important to watch this video. This video will show you how to actually give the Universal Screener to your learners. And then also there is a link to the guide for parents when talking about the Universal Screener. So just for the purposes of this, let's just look at 2nd grade. So when I click on 2nd grade, you can see that it's going to take us to all of the documents from my grade level. So this is just another link to that video that we saw earlier. And then here is your Universal Screener for the beginning of the year. And you can see here it says to make sure to read the administration information on the front page. And that's just the important information that you'll need to know, as well as what materials you'll need to be able to administer the screener. So then we do have the English and Spanish versions of each of these grade levels over here. In the middle of the year and end of the year, these will be linked later on. 2nd grade, just click on your link. And you can see here's the front page with all the materials that you will need, just the beginning part of what you would need to say, the score, and then here would be the teacher recording sheet where you can see each of the questions have a scoring guide. And if you keep going down to the next section, you can see here's the student recording sheet. So all you would need to do is just make a copy of that, make a copy of the teacher recording sheet for each student, as well as a copy of the student recording sheet for each student, and then that's what you would administer the test. And again, the video that was linked earlier will give you more information about how to administer that assessment. So that would be all of those. And then once you've given the screener, the next thing you would need to do is put that information on the intervention tracking sheet. So each grade level has their own tracking sheet. So when you click on that link, the first thing you would want to do is this is actually an Excel file. So you would want to download this file. Alright, so you can see here is our tracking sheet that we would need. So if you look down here, here's the Universal Screener data tab right here. So the first thing you would do is to put your name right here. So we'll just do this for an example. The student's name, and then the total score. So if the student scored a 10, when you put in 10, it will show up as green, meaning that they are not labeled at risk. They're labeled on target. But if Susie here would have gotten a 4, you'll see that it'll show up red because they are not on target. For any student that you will be gathering data on for progress monitoring, you can see here down at the bottom there's different places for students. You can also copy these files if you have more than 5 students. If you will just right click or 2-finger click, move or copy, and you would just want to create a copy. And you'll see it shows up down here. So you can actually make more of those pages for additional students. I'll delete this one because I won't need it. Alright, so right here, this is where you would do each student that you're progress monitoring. So you can see we can put Susie here. and the teachers, Salak. My school is Happy Hills Elementary. And then right here, I think we said she got a 4. And then this is where I would type in her SMART goal. And then any time that I am taking data on her for progress monitoring, I can add in the date and then add in the score, any comments that I need to make. If the RtI committee decides that they would like to start with a different SMART goal, there's another section below it for the next SMART goal. So once you do this, you will need to make sure that you save this data and this sheet, so you can save it as your name. You can put it on your desktop, but somewhere that you're going to easily be able to access it throughout the year. All right, so if you remember, we were back here on this before we downloaded it. So we'll go back to that the page that I could get all of those documents on. The other part on here is a talking points for parents. So if you click on the link there, you'll see that it just says what the Universal Screener is, what the purpose is, and then what does the Universal Screener assess. And this will just give you some ideas of what every grade level is being assessed on. And then what does the score mean if they're 0 to 9 or 10 to 20. So it's just very important to make sure that parents understand really what is the purpose and what the screener is. So all of these items can be found based on whatever grade level that you're in. So if you'll remember, we went back a sheet. That's how we got to it, is clicking here. You can also get to the intervention tracking sheet here if you need to. It's just another quick link to get there. These are the Tier 1 fidelity checks. It's just a link to different interventions that should be happening at Tier 1, which are just best practices in the classroom. So this is just a link to that. These are SMART goals for math. So if you'll look here, these are actually different ideas of SMART goals that you can use based on numeracy. So here's the I can statement, and then here's some resources if you need them. So you can see that maybe a SMART goal would be based on reciting number words for 1 through 10. And the I can statement would be I can say my numbers in order. So then it kind of gives you some other ideas. And these try to follow a progression based on the topic. So if you'll see, like, understanding the number system is one. And then further on, here's operations with whole numbers and decimals. So each section has its own progression for a SMART goal. So let's go back, and the last thing is just these are different resources that can be used for intervention and for progress monitoring. Now that we're not using the MSTAR or the ESTAR or the TEMI universal screeners, we now have a list of resources that you can use for progress monitoring. So as long as the intervention is directly related to your learner's goal, then it can be used. So these are just examples of different resources that can be used. So one of those is Go Math. You have a bunch of options within Go Math. So these are links to the Go Math, so you can use the RtI section. Another thing, these are what we used last year. So if you find that these were some good checks and are able to link those to the learner's SMART goal, then these can be used again. So here's the intervention lessons as well as the unit checks or AIM checks that we used in previous years. And then also there's a link here to the First Steps in Mathematics, which is actually based out of Australia, but they do have some diagnostic tasks that may just give you more information about where the learner is. And these are links to those books. So here are just a few resources. As we find more, we'll be adding to this page, but that will give you a good starting place of what you can use for intervention and progress monitoring for RtI. So on here, you should be able to access everything that you'll need for RtI and for the universal screeners. So for the beginning of the year, the first thing you'll want to do is just go to this website, click on the RtI link, and then make sure to watch this video before clicking on to be able to get all of the resources you'll need, and then start printing your assessments and you'll be good to go. So if you have any questions, please email either me, Diana, or Mary, and we would be happy to help you get ready for our universal screeners. So thanks and have a great day.